Hi, guys. This is Jerry Lee Medeiros with Three Sisters Broom Shop, and my shop is located in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. So, I want to put out a bit of a video today regarding classes. Um, my classes are structured in a way that you build on your skills and you build on a foundation. Yes, you absolutely can go out and make a much more difficult broom to start. It's true, you can. Um, I don't teach that way. It's just not how I see that it should be for my classes. So what I do is I start you at a very basic broom, and that is the hawktail. No, I don't have examples. I'm just going to talk to you straight up and explain um, what I want to about the classes because it's important. So there was one step lower that I can go, but I'm not choosing to do that. If I started everybody off at, say, a pot scrubber, toothpicks, just everything with round, it would just be one round thing, then yeah, we could start there. But I am not comfortable with that. I think it's too low down the scale. I think that if you want to learn how to make brooms, you should make a broom. And so I've structured my classes that way. So let me explain. 101 is the hawktail, which you use one piece of twine. You're only working with one piece of twine. And then broomcorn. And you make a design that's fanned out like a tail. The second class is 201, and that's making a turkey wing that has, you're using two twines, but you're also now using reed. The reason I don't have you go into using broomcorn stalks is because those are a bit of a horse of a different color. They're a little bit more difficult to work with. You can't always get those. Reed is, I should say, you can't always get those, period. And reed is just more easily accessible. My chosen size of reed is 1/4 inch. For me, I prefer the flat oval reed. It's called flat oval. It's flat on one side and then has a small oval on the top. Um, it's not half round, it's just like a really small oval, but what it does is it gives texture to the reed by having it raised on one side. The flat part goes up against the broom handle. So I take you from using one twine and five pieces, five sections of broomcorn is what that class is, to making more difficult broom, which is the turkey wing. Now, let me stop for a minute here. There's been a lot of conversation about what is a turkey wing and what is a hen tail, a hen wing, and what's the difference. For me, what I was taught, or not taught, just what I picked up out there, was that the hen wing had no advances in it. And again, no examples. So sorry. I just don't have any right now. But the hen wing has no advances as it goes up the broomcorn with the twine, and the turkey wing had the advances. And I know several broom makers have looked at it that way. However, some historical value on this, as it turns out, that seems to not be the best information. Hi, Thing. Oh no, this one's pudding. Um, so the situation is that the turkey wing is a bigger broom, a bigger whisk broom than the hen wing. And that's the difference. And I prefer that. It's just a little bit harder to explain. But so anyway, that's the 201 class. The 301 class advances you into a long handle, full-size handle, and working with tarred twine instead of nylon twine, and then you still get nylon twine. But in that class, You learn how to put broom corn on a handle. You do work with the tard twine, which is my preferred twine for full size, for the Simply Witchy, and also for the cobwebbers. I do use it on cobwebbers too. Tard twine has tar applied. It smells. It smells like creosote. But the reason I like it is because it's got an extremely strong tensile strength. Yes, I've snapped it. I have made sounds that I didn't know I had within my soul. I couldn't even say blue words. I was so shocked because it hurts that bad. It's pretty strong stuff, but boy, when you snap it, it spanks you and you know you've been snapped at. Like, phew. I've also snapped nylon twine and it doesn't quite have the punch that the tard twine does. Why? Some broom makers don't work with any tard twine. My classes are geared to teach you different materials out there. Right now, I haven't done anything with Tempico. And you see, when you're in front of the camera, you can see these little silly things. So, but anyway, that can just sit right there. The tard twine does have a stronger tensile strength. The reason I used it on the Simply Witchy was to introduce people to tard twine because it's gearing up towards the bigger size brooms where I absolutely use it. So 301 is a Simply Witchy broom. You can make it a dancing broom or a walking broom. It has a cane tip on the bottom, or you can sweep with it. It's just a round broom that you can sweep with. Got a hair. Hmm. Um, the 401 class is the cobwebber. In the cobwebber, okay, so let's back up a second. In the 301 class, you are shown two different broom styles. You're shown how to make a broom that you can sweep with, or you're shown how to make the broom that has the broom corn all the way down to the bottom of the handle, or the handle all the way down to the bottom of the broom corn, however you want to put that. And it has a cane tip on it. The cane tips that I use have a piece of metal inside, so they're reinforced for long use. The broom corn does not, I mean, it barely skirts the ground. It's not dragging on it. I know that a lot of times that dancing brooms are very heavily adorned with fake flowers, leaves, ribbons, bells. I've even seen lights on them. I don't put all that on. What I do is I create the broom, and if somebody wants to do that with their broom, they're welcome to. I just, I looked into actually doing it. I went out and bought all the ingredients, if you will, and I just don't want to get into making brooms like that, that I make the brooms and if somebody wants to decorate them, awesome. And it should be their personality anyway, right? So that's the 101, 201, 301, the 401, where I was going on that. Also has two different styles shown in that particular class is two different ways to make a cobwebber. One that is I see commonly, and then one that I came up with. And you can use either or. I wouldn't do the second version until I had some experience, but I've seen a lot of people do them that way. And I'm not going to explain to you here how to do that, but it's in the class. And that's using the cobwebber is used for cobwebs. See, like one of my brooms that doesn't stand. Some people's cobwebbers stand, mine don't. Mine do not have even ends, and that's why they don't stand. I've seen what looks like my Simply Witchy brooms being used as cobwebbers, and they're all trimmed. So all it is a tool just to get around and, remove old webs so that the spiders can make new ones. I love spiders. There's a couple that I'm not friendly with, but otherwise I think they're great. Um, so that's what a cobwebber is for. And that comes with a shorter handle. The 301 class comes with a full-size handle, and the cobwebber comes with a shorter handle. And in both of those, and let me see, I might have a pack of it here. Nope, I don't. So what I do in those two classes is I include a bag that has some stuff in it. It's got a Mylar pouch of Howard Butcher Block conditioner, and it's got a picture of the label in there too. And then I also provided cloths so that you can do what I call buttering your handle, and that's preparing your handle. I do not lacquer my handles. I just, it's not something I feel that I want for my brooms. Um, it seals them, which is a good thing, right? But for me, it feels like the wood can't breathe. Some people would call what I do a rustic look. It's descriptive term. People can look at anything any old way they want, right? Okay, so now we've got 101, 20, 201, 301, 401. So the 501 is whisk, the double broom whisk. It's got two whisks on it. And that class is more advanced. So as you can see, these classes go from, okay, simple, and then moving into harder. The 201 class teaches you how to weave with reed or broomcorn stalk, even though we're using reed on this one. In 301, you're learning how to put something on a handle. See how it's all building, building, building. In 401, you're making a different tool, and which is the cobwebber, and you are weaving with broomcorn stalk because the cobwebbers that have handles are still attached to the stalk. And some people call that knurl. I call it craft corn because that's how I buy it. It's called craft corn. Um, some people call knurl the knuckle of the stalk of broomcorn and the broomcorn stalk. So it's the broomcorn coming down, the stuff that has the business end, and then the stalk goes up, and they call the knuckle of that knurl. So I call it craft corn because, again, that's how I buy it. The 601 class is the rooster tail, which the 501 class is more advanced than the other classes. So each one builds on something. Every single one builds on the skills that you've gained prior, and it also builds towards the skills that you're headed to in my future classes. In the 601, that's a rooster. We're working with wet broom corn, and you're learning to braid with wet broom corn. Now, the classes that come after that are the full-size brooms. A lot of times I find that, and I was like this when I got into broom making. I had the same views. I didn't understand how brooms were made. I really didn't. Um, so I thought, yeah, I can jump right into a full size. And I did. And it was an utter failure. It really was. The broom fell apart as I was sweeping, but there was reasons for that. One was that all the broom corn was soaked, and in my opinion, it should not be. And so I don't teach it that way, and I don't make them that way anymore. But at the time, I made it per instruction, and everything was soaked. And when broom corn has water on it, it retains the water, which fattens up the pieces of broom corn. And I do have some here, but it fattens them up, right? And so then when you put your twine on it, be it tarred twine or nylon twine or whatever you're working with, um, it's not dry, and so it's going to shrink. Okay, so what happens is once the water is dissipated, the broom corn is dry again, it's not swollen up. Well, your twine loosens. And that's what happened to mine. That's what happened to mine. Um, and literally, I was sweeping the walk in front of me, and I turned around, and there was literally a trail of broom corn. Um, so the 701 class, well, I can teach how to make a hearth broom in there too, which I'm going to do, and a polissoir, which is a French burnishing tool. But the 701 class and the 801 classes are the advanced, really super advanced. The 701 is going to be the shaker style full size, and that is, you can get her done in one go. The kitchen sweeper, what is also called a cottage sweeper, kitchen sweeper, porch broom, whatever, it's the standard looking broom. that has the shoulders on it, and that is a two-part class. So it's not done in all one fell swoop. And the reason is because you have to let the shoulders inside of the broom dry, because that's the part that's wet. That's the only part that I actually do get wet, but it has to dry. So once it's dry, then you can go on to the other things. But in the shaker style, nothing is wet. However, what do you need to know for shaker style? Well, let me see. In 201, we learned plating with reed, and you're going to do that on the shaker style. You're going to apply a cap on top of the broom. Okay. In 401, what did we learn? We learned stitching. And what are you going to do for a full size? You're going to stitch it. Okay. And in 301 and 401, we learned to work with tarred twine. Well, what's on the inside of the 701 class, which is the shaker style full size tarred twine? So you see how everything builds up. All right. So I am doing commercial classes, I'm doing in-person classes here in Coeur d'Alene, and that they will always be held at Earth Fairy Holistics unless something changes somewhere, which I highly doubt. But anyway, so they're going to be taught there. And I know that some people are going to come traveling. So I'm looking at how I can do different things like that. And this is Miss Puddin that here, Woody. Yeah, I'm sure that didn't feel good. But I had to get your head up, little baby. But I know that people want to travel to come here, and that some people are really raring to go for a full size. Of that will be very frustrating for you, and it will be a difficult class if you go from knowing very, very little and go right into a full size. Um, I really do not recommend it at all. The reason I gear my classes this way is so that you're successful. Yes, I do charge money for my classes, but your money isn't what I'm looking for. Your success is. Your success is all that matters to me. It also matters that if you go from point zero to running all the way up to a full-size broom, the other people in the class that are experienced or know what they're doing um, are going to have to stop every time someone who has never done a broom ever is trying to make a full size. Now, what I will tell you is this also, so that there's peace of mind. So when I record a class, the videos are available to the people um, that purchased the class and the video. They are not for sharing. Yeah, otherwise, I'd have them on YouTube. So, and I ask people to please respect that I own those videos, and I would prefer that they just not get passed around like potato chips. So that's important to me. But the point is not to gain your money through the classes. The point is that you gain success. I don't know where you're headed in your broom journey. A lot of people, way more surprising number than I could have ever imagined, a much larger surprising number than anything I ever thought, um, was that so many people have taken my classes and gone on to open businesses of their own. Did I expect that? Not in a million years. No, I didn't. Um, but my classes are extremely thorough. And even in the in-person classes, I will be sending those attendees links to the class of whatever they just took, the recorded ones. I will not be doing Zoom in the live classes or in-person classes. I will not do that. What I will do is go ahead and send the videos that were already recorded to those people so that they can refer back whenever they need to. So, anyway, I just wanted to drop in and give you guys a view on how my classes work. And I will continue to build new classes, to create new classes as new things come toward me. And my classes come with video only, with kit only, or the video and the kit together. So I don't have everything released in video yet. I just haven't gotten there. just one of me. Um, and I don't have everything ready for a kit. Like on the cobwebbers, it takes a lot of broom corn, or excuse me, craft corn to create the kind of cobwebber that I do. None of my brooms are sparse. None. Like I don't make a one layer cobwebber. Yeah, they work one layer. Yes, they do. Absolutely, they do. I just don't happen to make them that way. Um, a lot of times I'm asked why I do not make natural colored brooms. Well, because I don't want natural colored brooms. I worked very hard to teach myself how to dye, D-Y-E, how to dye broom corn. It was, what would you call? It was gated knowledge. Nobody would release it. And I spent, I'm not even going to tell you how much, it's disgusting, how much I spent in different dyes and different attempts. And it took me 3 or 4 years to figure it out. But I will be releasing some information on that. And that information is free. That information is free. I personally sat out in my backyard and sobbed. I was just broken, and which was hard to get me to break, but it had broken me, and I had to decide if I was going to stay in business or not, because I just wanted brightly colored brooms. The way that I started it was with natural, like most people do, and I added the color by adding twine to it, which made it colorful. However, I wanted earth friendly colored brooms, and I have found a way to do that. There's a few ways to dye, D-Y-E. There's a few ways. And one of them is with much more toxic, which will give you a consistent color every time. They're brighter. They have a sheen on them. They're shiny. And I refuse to use that dye. I just will not use it, period, the end. I will not buy it. I will not promote it. And I won't ever use it. It's toxic. It's toxic to the earth. So I personally use RIT, R-I-T. No, I do not run to the grocery store and get the little boxes, but I'll explain that in the diet class. But the reason I use RIT is because it's as earth-friendly as I can find. I've also been asked several times, what about using natural material? Well, I'm an old weaver. I used to spin my own wool and dye my own wool with onion skins, lichens from the rocks, um, avocado, to all sorts of stuff, like all sorts of natural material. But as a broom maker, I dye about 1,000 pounds a year. And I have not found plant material, natural plant material in quantity for me to be able to use that. So I use RIT, and again, it's the safest that I have found. It goes into our sewers, it goes into the watershed where I do dispose of my RIT in a certain spot outside, and the plants grow there. No, they're not deformed. No, they're nothing like that. It doesn't harm, okay? Any chemical is a chemical and it's 100% not safe. You can't make it 100% safe for the land if you are using anything with a chemical, which is why I really would like to use plant materials, but I'm just not there yet. But anyway, I just wanted to give you a little rundown on how the classes are coming along and how they're going to go. In the future, I may look at doing like 2-day workshops so that if somebody travels from out of the area, maybe I would teach them 2 brooms that day and one the next so that then they could get on the road to go. So that'd be Saturday, Sunday. But I haven't really figured that out yet. So this is a growing entity on the brooms in person. Normally everything is done on video for me. I did used to teach Zoom classes, but I had a real challenge getting enough people to agree to be all in the same Zoom meeting at the same time. And then the classes were stretched way, way far. And that's when I went to on-demand videos. So anyway, this is already long enough, I'm sure, but I wanted to give you some ideas about the classes. And speaking of classes, I'm just about to record back-to-back classes now. I'm just about to record 2 more classes. So once I get this out and posted and up on YouTube, then I'm going to go ahead and record the classes for the double broom whisk and also the rooster tail. Okay, so I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what's going on here at the shop, and that's it. All right, so Puddin' is resting next to me, my little girl here, and I'm going to go ahead and say adieu and get this thing uploaded. And thanks for being here. Bye.